So let's look at three types of variation in data. The first is just typical variation. You can see these balls just kind of bouncing all over the place. The percent of students that are seniors each year might change a little bit. Some years have more kids in them, some have fewer. These are things we expect to see all over the place when measuring data. Sometimes it's called the noise of the data, and it really doesn't mean much at all. We want to try to look for things beyond this noise. So an example of that would be in this graph. So we see as we move from 2011 to 2015, we can see that let me do it again here, we can see that the circles are steadily going to the right. So this would be more of a trend. That's not just normal variation. And if we look at the x-axis here, we can see that it's measuring poverty rate. In other words, these schools, as we go through time, are for whatever reason having a greater and greater percentage of students in poverty, and there's probably something causing that trend that we would maybe want to look into. And then the third type here is a different type of variation. Watch the blue dot there. Bam! See that? So we start over 2011, 2012, bam! 2000. Something happened there. And if we look at the y-axis, what we're seeing is the number of black students went from 200 to less than 100 in the course of a single year, whereas that's telling us that something, some dramatic event. This isn't a trend that black students are leaving this Carysbrook Elementary. We can see in general that that bubble just has normal variation, except for that one jump, we call it a jump. It's a jump downwards. That something happened there, whether it was incorrect data. It's very possible in this case it was a merger of schools or a redistricting over that year where suddenly a large group of students went to a different school. There could also have been some kind of segregation movement, a new school, a charter school opening up in that area. Probably the next thing we'd want to look at is the number of white students and see if we see that exact same drop also, which I'm guessing we probably would. And that tells us, then we could look into the story behind this, but something big happened here. This isn't a trend, it's some kind of single event that took place that if we started researching, Googling around, asking people from that area, we could probably figure out what exactly happened there. So three types of variation. You have the typical variation up and down that you're going to see all the time. You're going to see a steady increase or decrease, which represents some kind of long-term trend. And then you're going to see this sudden, immediate change, which describes some kind of event going on.